If you want me to lie to you, I'll lie to you. If you want me to tell you the truth, I'll tell you the truth. And either I lie to you or I tell you the truth. Don't get pissed off at my answer. Because if you don't want it, don't ask me.
Exactly.
I'm doing what I'm doing, and I follow a big thing. That I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan and always his thing, and he says it almost every episode now. I don't read the comments. I don't read the comments.
Listen, learn, get inspired. I'm Tavis Bryant, and this is BBQ Therapy. Like, subscribe, and follow to help grow the barbecue therapy community. Also, visit my website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.
We gon' have barbecue, your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on.
Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and today on the show, we have people that finds trophies through barbecue, some through content. Johnny Mags found it in a way a lot of real ones do, after work. He built Pit Life BBQ while running postal routes, handling life, and still showing up for people. No shortcuts, no overnight story. Today, we're talking about work, discipline, barbecue culture, and what happens when you build something in the margins of your life. All right, Johnny, welcome to the show. I got one rule: make yourself at home, speak freely.
Tavis, man, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, no problem. I'm gonna start off where I always start. Where were you born, and how was life growing up, as far as the food scene in your family, as well as your area of where you lived, as well as how was barbecue in your life growing up?
All right. I grew up in a town called Woburn, Massachusetts. I said the R there, right? I wanted to come out, New England accent. We drop letters all the time. But no, I was born in Woburn, Massachusetts, and just about 12 miles outside of Boston. And the barbecue scene really wasn't one. And it was the typical, what we say a lot, and a lot of us say now, when you say barbecue, people automatically think, hot dogs, hamburgers, things like that. Not the low and slow ribs, brisket, pork, any of that. It's, hot and fast grilling is what it is. And yeah, it was the typical stuff. It was steaks, burgers, dogs, things like that. But yeah, the food area was typical stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. My mom was the cook of the house. She was the cook. She was the griller, and amazing cook. And I lost mom back in 18. So sorry, mom, but you couldn't grill worth a crap. Bro, I didn't know a steak could come medium rare. So I think I was at a cigar dinner when I was 19 or 20 years old. It's like, what is this? It was shoe leather through the whole thing, man. Ketchup was my friend. I know, and we're gonna hit the comments and people ketchup. Go, dude, you got to get it down somehow. But that's how that was. I got a lot of my culinary stuff from watching her. And Tavis, we're about the same age. So do you remember in the 80s coming up, they had that toy or pillow, plush, whatever, called the couch potato?
Hmm.
I got one of those for Christmas, and that became my nickname, was couch potato. Because that's what I was. I didn't leave the couch or the chairs. I was watching TV, playing video games. But that whole time, I was always watching my mother in the kitchen, helping out here and there, but watching what she was doing. So when I finally later in life, when I got into barbecue, everyone was asking me, how I do it. I go, it was by watching her. Now, measurements, different story. Because I don't know how much that is, because that's how she would measure. It would take a bottle and okay, that's good. Well, how much was that? I don't know. It was, that's just how she did it. I'm like, okay, this recipe writing down is going to be a little difficult, but no, that's a lot of my culinary. All my culinary came from my mother, and on all aspects of food, whether well, obviously, clearly not the barbecue and grilling side, as I had mentioned blatantly, but everything else, the soups, chilies, stews, anything, all the Italian stuff. She was Italian, but all the culinary stuff came from her. And my love for cooking, my love for food, everything stems back to her.
That's good. All right, let's take it up a notch. So you're a postal worker, correct?
Yes, sir. April 11th will be 28 years.
Ooh. So you
Yeah.
do routes or you work in the office?
I do routes. I'm out on the street. Yep.
Okay, I got some questions about that. I mean, I know I do my show different, but
Yep.
so how does it go as far as when y'all get there in the morning? It already be sorted in y'all truck, or do y'all have to grab stuff and
Oh,
load your own trucks and stuff?
we got to do it all. So there'll be piles of stuff and tubs of trays sitting at our cases, and we have the case and it's all lined up in the sequence of delivery. So we'll throw all the letters and magazines, newspapers, put it all in order, then pull it down so everything's in order, then grab our packages and away we go. Load the truck up ourselves and hit the road. And then
Wow. So how do y'all
goodbye us.
know what belongs to who?
Dude, it becomes muscle memory, really. And once you learn it, you know how to set your truck up. So I have like
Mhm.
6 different sections in my truck. So I'll break it down into like 2-hour increments. So this first section, everything's up in the front of the truck with me. Then once I run out of that, and then you kind of memorize the flow of the route. So when I'm loading the packages, okay, Myopia Road, that's the 4th section. Taft Drive, that's the last section. And you get the flow, and it becomes muscle memory. There's many a
Okay.
times in like I said, muscle memory. It's funny because the brain will shut off sometimes when I'm delivering, and I'll be getting out of the house, getting out of the truck, and going up to a house and going, oh wait a minute, they're on vacation. But you're just so used to hopping out, and you get halfway down to the walkway, it's like, yeah, I got nothing for them. What am I do? I don't even have stuff in my hand. It's just the body takes over, and it's crazy stuff. But yeah, almost 28 years, right when I got out of high school.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So was you aiming to go that route, or you just something that you was
I
trying?
was looking for to do something with civil service, take the civil service exam, and a friend of ours was in the postal service, family friend, and he goes, "Hey, the postal exam's coming on, and would be interested in taking it?" Sure, absolutely. So took the test, did well, and got hired, and that's it. 28 years later, here I am, still
Wow.
going.
Cause that could be a mental grind. Like every day you out in the
Oh,
elements, repetition, and people. I don't know, people yelling about where my letter at, where my package at, and
oh yeah. I'm like, you sure you don't have it? I'm like, I'm not hiding anything. Believe me, I'm giving you everything I got. I want this truck empty, so I can only deliver what I got for you. Sorry, I don't know what else to tell you.
all right, we're gonna shift into barbecue, and then we'll go into the
Yeah.
podcast. But how did you? I guess after you left home and stuff like that, how did you discover barbecue, and when did it catch your attention enough to, hey, I like this, really like this?
Like I said, I was always the one on the grill. So, the parties, the weekends away, I was always the one manning the grill. I just loved it. And then I was sitting at the house one weekend, And I'm clicking through the channels, and you already know where this is going. And I stop on this show, and it was a bunch of guys, with meats and everything, barbecue pitmasters. Okay. Next thing you know, it's like 5 hours later. I haven't left the spot, and I'm just enthralled in watching what these guys are doing. And then it was the famous last words. I bet I can do that. And, it just went from there. I had a cheap, um, Brinkman bullet smoker. The door on it is about yay big. So I'm literally there with a pair of tongs putting lit pieces of charcoal in one at a time because you can't dump a chimney. And it's like, oh God, but that's where it all started and just went from there. Barbecue Pitmasters. So John Marcus, this is all your fault.
Yeah, he hurt a lot of people.
Right?
So when did you because I know in your area, I guess what was the competition scene back then around your area?
Well, I wasn't too familiar with the competition scene around us. I would know that, there was some, fire department or church, chili cook-offs, things like that. But as far as I really didn't know of a competition barbecue scene till watching the show. And it's like, oh, wow. So so then I got looking into it. And there was this one gentleman, Bill Gillespie, from Smoking Hogs Barbecue out of South Shore of Massachusetts, and two-time world champion. He's won the American Royal. He's won the Jack. And met him. He's like, oh yeah, we go all over the place. There's a bunch of KCBS sanctioned events in New Hampshire, in New England. And then there's a lot of, backyard, chicken and rib competitions throughout the summer. So it's like, okay. So then that's how I became aware of it. And then, then the podcast came about, and then the floodgates opened at that point. Because at that point I was getting all the information and learn really, really studious learning about everything, research, all this, what's this sanctioned body, what's that sanctioned body, what's available in my area. And yeah, that's how it was. But yeah, the competition side started after the podcast side. So I was just playing around in the yard, with my different smokers, and really trying to not burn anything and figure out how to turn something, a cheaper cut of meat, which nowadays none of it's cheap, but into something delicious, the way barbecue originated.
So in y'all area, do y'all have to, like in higher elevations, do y'all have to cook differently in y'all area compared to outside of y'all area?
Not really. Um, we really focused on, on the main one is this wonderful thing they call weather. Because I'll be going out there today and, throwing some stuff on. And currently right now it's 3 degrees with a wind chill of minus 15. So that equals a lot of fuel consumption. So, the elevation and where we are geographically really doesn't come into play as different places. It's the fuel, it's the weather, it's the fuel intake, of how you're going to burn through more charcoal. So you got to be more cognizant of where your fire's at, where the coals are at, add more, and because I could throw a split in every hour in July. Well, today it might be every half an hour, just simply
Uh,
because of the temperature.
whew.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
complaining because it's 30 degrees here.
Oh, and you got a nice spring day.
And then tomorrow it's supposed to be like almost 70 degrees, and it's 30 right now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. Have you taken any classes or anything?
No, I have not. I want to. Obviously, this when the classes come out, and it's normally it's playing a lot with the post office because I work at Monday through Saturday. So I got to plan stuff so far in advance. Taking the classes is a bit tough. But
Mhm.
now with especially Barbecue Champs Academy, other online things, you can buy the video sets from a certain pitmasters, and we can do that. But one of the things I found is I got the little inside track, which you're learning and you're gonna learn as you go with your show. Talking to some of these folks, they're willing to throw information down. So every week, every episode, there's a little bit of class action going, so I'm jotting down notes on this and that. So to actually have a class, take a class, no, I have not. But I've been getting, education wise and tips and tricks for the past 7 years doing the podcast.
Yeah,
But no, I'm
definitely. I
definitely
mean, it's,
I definitely want to take a class just to experience it, get the real deep dive stuff that you're only going to get really in that environment.
mhm. I mean, it's true. I mean, well as the people you meet there and stuff like that,
Yes.
make new friends at every class I go to. But it's definitely experience. But also like you said, I mean, we get to craft the questions how we want
Hmm.
when we do our podcast and what guests we have on, as well as help others out there that can't afford a class or not around people that barbecue like everybody else. So that's why one of the things I love about doing this, it helps people and give information, because there was a time where I couldn't get any information from nobody
Hmm.
because I didn't know where to go or who to talk to or anything like that. So it's very helpful. What we're doing is not to be taken lightly, like, oh, it's just a radio show. No, this is the education. Some people might do that avenue, but as far as what me and you do, I know for sure that we're out to educate people, help people,
Hmm.
motivate people, and smarten people to get ahead of the curve and not be scratching their head trying to figure out where do I start at. hmm So
100%.
let's transition into the podcast. How did that all start, and what problem were you trying to solve starting the podcast?
Oh God. Like I said, with it all started with barbecue pitmasters, and then a friend of mine, he grew up across the street from me, so we grew up as kids. My friend Kevin Ure, him and his brother-in-law Chris Crawford started a Facebook group called New England Pitmasters. Chris was originally from Texas, and he moved up to the Coast Guard, got stationed up here, and wind up staying. So they started this group, Facebook group, New England Pitmasters. So we all joined it, and we all started showing our cooks and all this, and they grew a wonderful, wonderful group. But we were over Chris's house one Saturday, and we were in the garage, the grill, multiple smokers and grills going, and this was in the infancy of Facebook Live. Okay, so someone had their phone out on Facebook and hit Facebook Live. None of us knew about it. So we were doing, now obviously this is later in the evening, so there was a bunch of adult beverages being consumed through the day. So we were feeling no pain at the time. And they're following us around on Facebook Live. And none of us knew, and we were just talking. How we do? Hey, what are you doing with those ribs? And what are you? Oh, what's this glaze? Oh, this is the new Cosmos, peach habanero or something. And we're talking. Oh yeah, I like to do it this way. I like to do it that way. And the night ends. We had a grand time for ourselves, and I get to work on Monday. And I didn't know how this tagging stuff worked, that my name was tagged, so it would show up on my page, so all my other friends were able to see it. Get to work Monday, and the boys are sitting there in the office and going, how was your weekend? Fine. Why? He's like, well, we got notifications on Facebook, and the only thing, he goes, what type of redneck crap was that? I go, what are you talking about? Oh, we're using this on the ribs, and the brisket is at this temperature. I go, I had no clue. So they literally brought up the page and showed me. I'm like, oh, my God. All right, it's out there. I go, hey, that's what we do. He goes, we don't know what it was, but it was entertaining. Okay. So I got to rewind just a hair. At the time, this was in 2018. And on the road, I'm listening to everything all day. And I was a big listener of sports radio. And in Boston, we have 2 sports radio stations. And at that particular time, the 2 newspapers, the Boston Globe and the Boston Herald, were at each other's throats. The 2 radio stations, WEEI and the Sports Hub, were at each other's throats. So all day long, you just hear the bickering and can we get a baseball score from the late night game on the West Coast? No, it's this across the street crap. So I'm like, something, forget it. I go, let me see. And at that time, my friend David Garofalo, he owns 2 Guys Smoke Shop, and he had a cigar podcast called The Cigar Authority. So that I started listening to podcasts. So I'm like, well, let me see if there's any barbecue ones out there. And I found a few, and we're listening, and there were a lot of scores. And I really didn't understand what a 200 or a 165.7, and they were just ranking everything. And then I found the Barbecue Central show of Greg Rempe. Like, okay, then, a few others. And that was always in my mind, that Facebook Live, once they said it was entertaining. So I talked to a couple of the guys. I talked to Chris and one of our friends, Mike Siglia. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about this podcast on barbecue? They're like, that would be interesting and this, but how would we do it? I go, well, my friend Dave has a podcast studio on the second floor of his cigar store. Let's go talk to him, and he'll, walk us through it all. And that's what we did. We went there, and he goes, dude, I love the idea. And next thing you know, all right, come up with a name, come up with this, come up with that. And after that, Pit Life BBQ Podcast was born. Had our first episode, and we've been running ever since. And if you ever saw what went into that first episode, you would never have believed that I'm sitting here today still doing it. We're not ready. Can we push this off? And we're like, no, let's just do it. And that's what we did. And like I said, Pit Life Barbecue was born. And we've gone through a few iterations of the show. Like I said, it was the original 3 of us, me, Mike, and Chris. About a month into it, life got in the way. Chris had to leave. Then it was me and Mike for about 2 years. And then Mike really wanted to, the whole time he had a catering business. So he really wanted to focus on that. And so he left, and then my buddy Greg, the barbecue broker, he jumped in, and then he started a catering business. So he wanted to focus on that. So he left, and then I just kept it solo. So if you want to start a catering business, come on, be a co-host of the Pit Life BBQ Podcast for about a year or two, and then after that, your catering company is going to be successful. It's just a proven track record, 2 for 2, 2 for 2. But yeah, that's how it all started. Was literally drunk on Facebook in a garage, cooking barbecue.
Wow.
That was the birth of it all. And here I am, 7 years later, closing in on 400 episodes. And I absolutely love it. I've gotten it. This podcast has become an absolute blessing. The people I have met, the relationships that I have started, all through sitting here talking about barbecue, and having people tell their stories and learning myself on different things. That's the perfect word is it's a blessing.
Yeah, definitely it is. And I'm a witness to that. So when y'all first started out, how did y'all do as far as editing, uploading, all that? Were y'all splitting it or were you doing it? And how does it go, I guess, as far as through the years? Have you been doing it all yourself or?
You said a word there that I'm not familiar with. I believe it was pronounced editing. Uh, the way we did it there is no editing. I have never edited anything in my life.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't even tell you how to even start editing. But no, the show was a live format. That's how they did it at my buddy Dave's studio. Everything was put out. Well, now I'm second guessing myself. But we were always live because we had the video end of it also. Because you could do a strictly audio version there, or you could do an audio and video. So the video was live on YouTube and Facebook. So I don't know any other way. So it's always been live. So yeah, no editing. So you're gonna get all the screw ups. You're gonna get the coughs. You're gonna get the sneezes, the ums, the ahs, the the pauses. But yeah, no, it's always been a live format. And I think that's what I liked about it. And I think that, people have told me that's what they also like about it, that it's not this polished anything. You're getting the mistakes, you're getting the screw ups, you're getting the misspeaks, and it all comes out very natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely true. So when did it really hit you when you really realized that a lot of people were really listening to your podcast?
Week number 3, the 3rd episode. I woke up. Well, I don't know. Did I wake up? I got a message, an email from this gentleman, Oli Sprague. And he was just going, "Hey, man, just wanted to reach out to you. I found your podcast. I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys, how you're approaching things and telling stories and all this stuff." So I emailed him back, "Hey, man, thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, we just started this, so, it means a lot, man. Hey, where are you listening from?" And he comes back, I'm listening from Victoria, Australia. Whoa, wait a minute. And it was like, Australia. I go, that's on the other side of the world. Episode 3. So that was the one. It was like, oh my God. And then they had some analytics and you could tell, oh yeah, you guys got listeners in Australia, New Zealand, Guam, India, all the different places. It's like, holy crap,
Exactly.
and then the different messages through the years. It's like it just keeps you going. It's like, man, I'm bringing these in. A lot of military messages. Hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing. I'm stationed over here, in Afghanistan. You're bringing me a little bit of comfort from home for the time I can sit there, those ones, those ones hit like a train, that they're there giving us the right to do what we do. They're fighting,
Exactly.
literally fighting for the freedom so you and I, Tavis, can sit here and have this conversation about barbecue. And to give them a little semblance of home, give them a little break in reality because you don't get much more real than what they have on the outsides of those gates,
Exactly.
and to just hear those messages, it's like, wow. But yeah, so, Oli was the first one from Australia and then the military stuff. And you realize that what I'm doing is a little something more than barbecue. Still can't explain it, because I talk with a screwed up accent. You can probably understand every other word, maybe. It is actually in the dictionary of how I say things, but yeah, it's those, and then you finally you're understanding the reach that you have, and it blows your
it,
mind. It blows your
it
mind.
definitely does. It definitely does because I had one of my first people that reached out to me, Cogs Barbecue is from down there, and I was like, wow, somebody listening to me, and this was early on, and he was
Hmm.
talking about I like what you're doing, and it touched me. It's because I tell people every time I get frustrated and aggravated and want to push all this off the table, you get a message, a direct message, and you be like, oh.
Hmm.
That'll help me keep going. Hey, I like what you're
Nope.
doing. I love your show and stuff like that because, like we were talking earlier, people don't know what goes into putting one of these shows together and all the background stuff like that. It's not just walking in, hitting a button, record, and
Hmm.
everything. It's so much to go into it, as well as especially if you're doing everything by yourself and you're trying to
Yeah.
get guests and coordinate with guests. It's not that easy just reaching out to somebody and getting them to come on. Like you have to match schedules. Some people,
Yeah.
I mean, people ignore your emails, or I mean, being real, people ignore your emails, messages, or you got to reach out for them 2-3 years before you get them on, and it's
Yeah.
a whole lot to go into it.
Oh
People don't know.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, folks. Let me tell you. And I will speak for Tavis on this one. There's a lot more than just pushing this go live button or record button. Like you said,
Hmm.
we're always sending emails, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, TikTok messages. I know what I like about some of the things you do. You're a big boots on the ground type of guy, heading out and meeting different people and getting guests that way,
Hmm.
which is fantastic. But yeah, I'm already, we're at the beginning of February. I'm already working on like May, because I got to get the emails and the, things booked. And, then you want to do some research, on your guests to have,
Hmm.
some accolades, awards, things like that, and Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that, yeah, okay, I come and talk to on barbecue for an hour or two every Monday night at 8. No, not
Exactly.
exactly. That's game day. It's the preparation and the practice. Yeah,
Exactly.
talking
See,
practice.
you see all this go into one episode.
Yeah,
And
no,
then don't use all
absolutely.
of
Hmm.
it. Because, like I said, it's a lot. Equipment problems, everything. It's just, but I love it. I love barbecue. I love the
Yeah.
barbecue community, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. And I know you feel that way just based on your excitement when you talk about it and talk to the people. So
No,
that's why I say I admire
absolutely.
you. People like you and Greg Rimpick, who 2006 is where he started, but then 2008 is when he started the live thing. But you think about it, that was before all this really existed
Oh
when he
no,
was doing it.
Greg's the godfather. He was the first one and he's still going. Like I said, I think 2006, 2007 was his episode one. Ooh, man, 11-year head start before I even thought about it. But,
Exactly.
but
And if you going on
yeah,
400, how many episodes?
dude, that is still blowing my mind. I've been thinking about that hardcore right now. And it's like, that is a huge number.
Yeah.
400. And thinking back, there was only a handful of episodes actually missed due to a snowstorm hit through at the studio, or there was that time I transitioned from the studio to my home studio and getting the equipment set up, the lightings, the microphones, get that
Mhm.
stuff to come in and set up and get everything working. I think it was 2 weeks, so there's only been, a handful, 5 tops of actual weeks missed in that since 2018. So that's not
Wow.
even one a year, it's crazy. So, but to think about it, it's like, yeah, but that's the one thing on any social media platforms, but with podcasts especially, is the consistency.
Hmm.
You have built these viewers, listeners, you know, and same time, every time, every week, because there were like a couple of the ones in between switching from the studios. There was messages coming, hey, is the show not out this week? And, but they're expecting it in their feed of the phone, with the downloading
Hmm.
automatically stuff. It's like, wow, that they're looking forward to it. So consistency, have there been sick days? Oh, absolutely. The mute button was hit many a times, but it's, showbiz. The show must go on. But yeah,
Exactly.
400. I'm sitting there going, that is a huge number. And
Exactly.
I don't know where the time's gone. It's like, holy cow, 400. But like I said, you ever saw that, what went behind that first one, you would never have thought there'd be another 399.
Exactly. That's how it always start off. I look at my first episode where I was on there by myself, and I look at it now. I was like, okay, it's a big difference. And once you get going, you learn as you go along. And like I say,
Hmm.
YouTube University teach you everything you need to know. So that's what
No,
I picked up.
absolutely.
All right. And what responsibility do you feel now as a voice in barbecue culture?
This is a slippery slope. Um, because I've been dealing with some stuff the past year and a half with this aspect of it. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, I started the podcast And then it was a couple years, and then I got into the competition side. So there's a huge difference, and especially with the competition side. The first thing that comes up is the judging. Well, this judge this judge that. It's out of your hands, first and foremost. Am I guilty of it? Absolutely. I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't. But as a podcaster first, before competition, I'm part of the media, barbecue media. So if I don't report on certain things or talk about certain things, I'm not doing justice to the barbecue community. Any information I have, you might not. Might have information on the same subject, okay? But you may have information I don't. I may have information you don't. So it's to get that information out into the open. And man, have I taken some tongue lashings of, hey, one example. I had saw someone had sent me something of a video in a judging room, okay? And I posted it, and I went, hey, not a good look for insert this sanctioning body right there. Because in most, if not all, sanctioning bodies, cameras, videos, audio is not allowed in the judging room. So this particular one, it was a kind of a joke, but there was really no description of it being a joke. And it was like a rib shootout thing. And you had to use an array of seasonings and sauces that were stuff you typically would not use competition-wise. So there was the Kraft barbecue sauce. There was, the things you would never use on the competition side. And the video was showing the judges going, this rib tastes like crap. This is horrible. Whoa, wait a minute. No explanation of what it was, that it was in theory, a joke. So in my opinion, by the rules of all sanctioning bodies, that video should never even exist. So I had posted it, and then, like I had said, my friend Billy Gillespie from Smoking Hogs, he was at that particular competition. And he messaged me, he goes, hey, let me give you the insight. This is what this was. Oh, okay. So I went back and I edited my thing. I go, with some thank you, Billy Gillespie, for explaining what we're looking at, that this was a fun, charitable thing. Okay, I was mistaken. Thank you for clarifying what it was. I took it for how most people took it, for face value. And that's it. And the comments. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should this. What? I'm a barbecue media before I was ever a contest cook. So I'm doing what I do. And oddly enough, the next morning, that video seemed to have disappeared. Because someone obviously made a phone call to the person who did it and goes, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get rid of that right now. And do you think I got any apologies the next day when the video was yanked off? No, but it was always the shame on me. But I will take the shame on me's, and I'll wear it as a badge. Because if I don't get any shame on me's from someone's opinion, I'm not doing my job. I'm not. I'll report on it and bring it to people's attention, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because on the media side, that's information people are going to use. people would need, people would be interested in. You know, it's like, I'm going to say this new Barbecue World Cup that's coming. The $1 million contest. Everybody's heard of it. Problem is, everybody's heard of it. The other problem is, no one knows anything about it. It's coming
Exactly.
out in dribs and drabs, which, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, and I might, get slapped on the wrist on this again, but it is what it is. It's messing
Exactly.
up things for other contests because people are sitting
Mm-hmm.
around not signing up for things because they're waiting to see if a particular contest is going to be a qualifier. And how it has been. Now, my understanding is they've now released a bunch of contests that are qualifiers for this. So, okay, it's getting a little bit better. But as a competition cook, you only got so much money to
Mm-hmm.
do so many contests. So I love the idea of it. I love the $1 million. It's bringing a, focus and visions and eyes on the barbecue world. But on another hand, I think it is slightly detrimental because it's
Mm-hmm.
hurting other contests. There was one, it's out on Facebook, but a friend of mine, Mark Williams from Swine Life Barbecue, he had posted a thing on, and he was mad as hell. And it was, I forget what contest, it might have been maybe Murfreesboro or 17th Street. I'm sorry, Praise the Lard at a 17th Street barbecue. And he can't get in the contest because they announced that it was a qualifier. But with Praise the Lord, if you were a past champion, you automatically get a spot. Well, he didn't get a spot because of the people jumped in for the qualifiers. So you're going to have people who are entitled to spot or however it works, but can't get in. And they've been supporting that contest for years. He might never go back to that contest because now it's put a bad taste in his mouth that they went
Yeah.
for this $1 million prize bit instead of sticking with how the contest was, raised and brought up through the years. I could have some facts wrong. I'm not going to say I'm right about everything, but I just remember that one, and he's mad as hell about it because he loved that contest and he can't get in, but long-winded, if I don't report on something, I'm not doing justice for barbecue as a whole. So I'll take my hater comments, I'll take my slaps on the wrist, and I'll take my slaps on the back. Either way, I'm doing what I do and bringing the information to the forefront.
Exactly. I mean, I agree with you with half of the stuff. I mean, when something needs to be said, it needs to be said. If something doesn't seem right, or like as far as judging and stuff like that, if these cooks are spending their hard-earned money to
Mm-hmm.
get the best meats to get judged, it shouldn't be nobody in there playing around or just showing up to get free food to take home and eat to watch the game. They need to be
Mm-hmm.
taking the job seriously because you're getting the opportunity that most folks don't get the opportunity to try out. And these folks spending $2,000-3,000 to feed you meat that
Yeah.
they probably don't eat themselves at home. And
Yeah.
you taking it as a joke, insulting them and stuff like that, and uh, being hard on the judging or being extra soft on the judging and not taking it seriously. So that's the thing that bothers me as well as just, I mean, the history of it. People
Mm-hmm.
learning the history, the people that came before them, and there's people before Brad, people before Darren, and stuff like that that paved the way that people need to
Yo.
learn about and what they went through, and there were champions back then and stuff like that, and it's a lot of it that needs to be said, but it's up to us to get that out and be the voice for those out there that
Yep.
that has have a problem with certain things that goes on within the barbecue. I mean, some people like it, some people don't, but at the end of the day, it's our show. So, I mean,
Yeah,
we might
no,
lose one, but we're gonna gain 5 or 6 more because we telling the
n-
truth and doing it different from everybody else. So,
no, absolutely. And the one thing I've always stood high on, and I will die on this hill. As a competitor, I believe because there's always going to be the head button between the competitors and the judges. I'm a firm believer of if you're a competitor, you should take a judging class just to get the judging perspective. Now, if you're a straight judge, the first thing you should do before you become a judge is you have to book a contest on your own, have that money come out of your pocket, and have someone sit there and tell you your stuff sucks and see how that one feels. So that's
mhm.
I will die on that hill. A competitor should take a judging class to get that aspect of it, but a judge, before they become a professional judge or certified judge, should have to cook a contest first to see that aspect, to see the $2,000 that comes out of your pocket. That
Mhm.
$200 for that brisket that you're about to tell them tastes like shoe leather. You might have
Mhm.
a slightly different view on it, but I will die on that hill. Competitors take a judging class. Judges book,
Yeah,
and I think
definitely. I agree.
you would lose a lot of the arguments of the bickering
Mhm.
back and forth.
Yeah, because it's hard inside those trucks and to prep all
Hmm.
that stuff. It's not easy to do all that. And like I said, it's another thing they think is easy, but it's not easy to compete. And one, you
No.
having to get everything together, and you worried about other people that you're competing with, and all that stuff. And you looking across, and you see Darren Worth, and you trying to. And I only did it for 3 months. I'm worried about that, and especially for
Hmm.
those that just started, and you being just straight out just rude to them on the comment cards and stuff like that. Why would I want to come back
Yep.
to feed you
Yep.
free food and you disrespect? It's all right to have certain words to use, but it has to be helpful, I think,
Yes.
and you have to take it seriously. So
Yeah.
that's coming
Yeah.
from
No.
me, everybody.
You know. Here, I'll just. Here. Right here. Right here is this is when this Litchfield, New Hampshire. Okay, this is Farm Classic from the Champions Barbecue Alliance. My score sheet. But you have all the comments, good and
Hmm.
bad. That's what I want to see because I'm not going to improve as a cook unless,
Hmm.
as a judge, you're truthful with me. I didn't like your flavor profile. Does not help me.
Hmm.
Your flavor profile was too salty, too peppery. Okay, that can help me. But,
Hmm.
a comment that was I wouldn't feed that to my dog. Okay, you're just being a jerk.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the judges have it easy either, because they're eating so much, on average 5, 6 samples, trying to keep this straight and try not to think about how good this previous rib was as you're
Mm.
judging that, trying to be very straightforward and, blinders on each thing, giving everyone the fair shake. So I'm not saying that the judges have it easy either, but there needs to be a middle ground met somehow, shape, or way.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. And how do you protect your joy when content, opinions, and expectations stack up, like we just talked about?
How do I do it?
How do you
Eh,
protect your joy?
eh, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Not everyone's gonna agree with me on
Hmm.
different things, or some guys are gonna agree, some people are gonna do, but that's the one thing I've always told everybody is listen, I'm gonna shoot you straight. Do you
Hmm.
want me to lie to you? If you want me to lie to you, I'll lie to you. If you want me to tell you the truth, I'll tell you the truth. And either I lie to you or I tell you the truth. Don't get pissed off at my answer. Because if you don't want it, don't ask me.
Exactly.
I'm doing what I'm doing, and I follow with a big thing. That I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan and always his thing, and he says it almost every episode now. I don't read the comments. I don't read the comments. Do I read the comments? Yes. Do I take them personally? No, because who knows? That's your opinion. I respect your opinion. I'm not going to sit here and
Hmm.
get in a fight with you over your comment because you didn't agree with something I said. Okay.
Hmm.
Would I appreciate a message or an email going, hey, I don't necessarily agree with you on this, and here's why. Disagree with me, but give me your side of it. Let me see it from your perspective. And then, hey, you know something? You got a great point there. I didn't see it that way. And then I can change my thing. Like going back to that post on that video. Hey, it's a bad look.
Hmm.
To what the post in the post, I think, is still up. The content is obviously gone, but you can see, hey, thank you, Billy Gillespie, for clarifying what that particular thing was.
Hmm.
Because if I'm wrong, I'll own it. I'm not ashamed to own it because I want to get things accurate, as accurate if I can. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Do I correct them? Absolutely. And I will own my mistakes. Because if I don't, I'm a phony. And that's the one thing I don't want to be. Oh, he
Hmm.
just says this to say that. No, 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 no. No, honesty and integrity, that's the thing. But yeah, don't take the comments or, good or bad, indifferent. Don't take anything to heart. Um, just be willing to own mistakes and just keep doing the best you can to bring the information to the masses.
Exactly. All right. Out of all your episodes, which one that you stands out that touched you the most? And you be like, man, that was a really good interview.
Oh, oh man. Jesus.
You got a lot.
I don't know. Really good ones. I'd say that Darren Worth was a great one. Um, the one that I would say would probably be the top was my interview with Danielle from BBQ, because Danielle don't take no crap. If Tavis, if you ever have a chance to interview Danielle, be ready. Have your homework done. She don't take no crap. She will call you out on anything because she takes and it's the integrity. She takes so much pride in what she has built. Being a woman in barbecue, building the DVQ brand. But yeah, she's the real deal. She's an absolute sweetheart and a tough cookie at the same time. But so if I was to have to pick one, would be that one with Danielle from Diva Q. I think that would have been my absolute favorite. Because we
Okay.
had a time, we had a bunch of laughs. But yeah, that would be the one I'd have to say.
Okay. And if you had a choice of two people, what two people do you want to have on your show that you haven't had on your show?
Oh, there's a Tuffy Stone. I have not been able to get in touch with yet.
Join the club.
And the one that I would absolutely love, I don't know how it would go because he's a man of few words, is Johnny Trigg, the
Oh,
godfather of ribs. I would love to talk with Johnny Trigg. So yeah,
yeah.
Puffy Stone and Johnny Trigg, 100%.
Yeah, I bet Johnny Trigg have a lot of good stories to
Oh
tell
God,
and
yeah,
stuff like that. I
yeah,
saw on
because he
social
was,
media he had came to an event
yeah,
yesterday.
and he's one of those guys you were speaking of before, that before the information started getting written down, he was going long before that. But to sit down with Johnny Trigg, oh my God, it would be like Christmas morning every day.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him at Memphis in May and taking a picture with him and me
Yeah,
and my wife. Yeah. And it was like, wow, because he was at the Blues Hog tent. And I was like, wow. It was an honor. And
no,
so we got to pay
absolutely.
respect for those that came before. All right. And 5 years from now, where do you see Pit Life BBQ Podcast?
Still going. Whether it's live at 8 o'clock on Monday or the day has changed, that'll probably be the only thing. I always said I'm going to do this till I'm not having fun anymore. Once it isn't fun anymore, I'm not going to do it because my heart's not into it. I don't want to have to go, oh shit, it's 7:30 on Monday night. I got to go do a podcast. No, I don't want that. Once it feels like that, the dread of doing it, I won't do it anymore. So in 5 years, I want to say, hey, I'll see you next Monday at 8 o'clock, live on YouTube and Facebook and da da da. Hopefully, I'll have some more trophies behind, and and hey, you never know. Maybe one of these places, might throw a couple barbecue guys some of that Joe Rogan money. You know what I mean?
That's what
But
I
no,
told you,
5 years.
ESPN, come on.
Hey, Spotify and Netflix, holler at your boy. But no, 5 years, I hope to still be doing it, still talking to everybody on all aspects of barbecue live fire, whether you're one of the famous personalities, Hall of Famer, or the king of the cul-de-sac down the street. Everybody has a story, and everybody has that love and passion for food, for barbecue, for live fire, and it brings all of us together. So I'll be talking to somebody about barbecue and culinary 5 years from now. Absolutely.
All right, definitely. All right, it's game time. That's all the questions I have. And you know the drill. I
Damn,
got
I've been
16.
waiting for this.
All right, we got 16 meats that you cook on the grill. They're all matched up. And the first matchup for you is smoked bologna versus hamburger.
Hamburger,
All right. Next matchup is sausage versus pork chops.
sausage,
All right. Next matchup is brisket versus hot dog.
brisket,
All right. Pork belly versus smoked ham.
smoked ham,
Okay. Beef ribs versus smoked turkey.
beef ribs,
Okay. Barbecue shrimp versus lamb.
lamb,
Okay. Burnt ends versus pork chops.
burnt ends,
Okay. Steak versus smoked chicken.
Steak.
All right. Next round, you got hamburger versus sausage.
This is why you do this dirty. Damn it. Damn it. I didn't think of this matchup. Hamburger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brisket versus ham.
Brisket.
Beef ribs versus lamb.
Beef ribs.
All right. Burnt ends versus steak.
Steak.
Okay. Final four. Hamburger versus brisket.
I'm going to catch crap for this. Hamburger.
Hamburger done won a few times. All right. Beef ribs versus steak.
Beef ribs.
All right. And finals is hamburger versus beef ribs.
Can I do a beef rib on a hamburger? I'm going to go with hamburger. I'm going to go with hamburger.
All right. Okay, number one. Are you a Patriots fan?
I am a Patriots fan.
All right. I did. Unfortunately,
We kind of have a big day this afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, my Broncos fell short, but
I know.
All right. I did another tournament bracket of the top 16. I did 2000. Well, probably like 1990 and up of the top Patriots players, and you just go through and see which one you like. Did a special one. All right.
Okay.
Tom Brady versus Richard Seymour.
Tom Brady.
All right. Logan Mankins versus Rodney Harrison.
Oh, ooh. I love Rodney, but I'm also a former lineman myself, and I respect what the stuff he's done with a blown out knee for years. So Logan Mankins.
All right. You got Julian Edelman versus Willie McGinnis.
Willie.
All right. Ty Law versus Teddy Bruschi.
You are dirty. Teddy Bruschi.
All right. Andre Tippett versus Wes Welker.
Andre Tippett.
Okay. Randy Moss in a short period and versus Adam Vinatieri.
Randy Moss got me to buy my wife's engagement ring with Fantasy Football League that year. But Adam Vinatieri's foot brought that first one home. So Adam Vinatieri.
All right. Vince Wilfork versus Drew Bledsoe.
Vince Wilfork.
All right. Matt Light versus Gronkowski.
Gronk.
All right. Next round. Tom Brady versus Logan Mankins.
Brady.
All right. Willie McGinnis versus Bruschi.
Oh, no. Brewski.
Okay. Tippett versus Vinatieri.
Tippett.
Okay. Wilfork versus Gronk.
Gronk.
All right. Final four. Brady versus Bruschi.
Brady.
I already wrote that down. Tippett versus Gronk.
Tippett.
All right. In the finals is Brady versus Tippett.
We got the building, literally the building blocks with Tippett. But Brady.
All right. Tom Brady is the winner. All right. Well, Johnny, your therapy session is over. You can give me any shout out to promote everything you want to promote.
Oh, first out, shout out to Uncle Steve at Uncle Steve's Shake. Amazing lines of seasonings, crazy flavors, always fresh, small batch. Check him out, UncleSteveShake.com. You will not be disappointed. Joe's Meat Market, always for their love and support of the show. Show live every Monday night on Facebook and YouTube, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And audio goes up afterwards. And, just Tavis, first off, brother, I appreciate you. I love what you're doing, your style of how you're approaching the podcast game. You're doing fantastic. And thank you. It was a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. But brother, thank you for having me on. Keep doing what you're doing. The big thing, I see big things coming your way, man.
Hey, same to you. You're a role model and pioneer in what I'm doing. So definitely, if I have any questions, I definitely will reach out and keep in touch.
Hell yeah, brother. And on one more thing. If we were to play the normal athletes game, Ali.
Okay.
Ali wins that one.
I see you were ready for that one. I switched it up.
Well, we can skip right to the finals. It was going to be Jordan and Ali. Jordan changed basketball. Ali changed the world.
Okay.
That was that.
All right. But on that note, we thank everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see everybody next episode.
I've built something onto my podcast that every barbecue brand should be a part of. It's called the BBQ Therapy Smoke Showdown Bracket. 16 meats you cook on the grill go head to head, and every guest picks their winner. It's one of the most engaging parts of the show. Every guest plays, and every listener loves it because no two brackets are the same. Now I'm opening it up for a presenting sponsor, meaning your brand becomes part of the segment every single show. This isn't just an ad, this becomes part of the show. And if you're interested, reach out to Tavis Bryant at BBQ Therapy Podcast at gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another therapy session. And remember, like, follow, and subscribe to help the barbecue therapy community. And also visit our website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.